Education is the foundation of our society. Education can free minds, improve lives, challenge injustices, and build civilizations. At Texas Christian University, we realize that what we are building goes far beyond our own lifetimes. Our culture is built on belonging and connection. We are empowering the people who will shape the future of this world. For 150 years, Horned Frog students have represented the diligence and passion of this great university. To me, the class of 2023 represents what's great about our present, but more importantly, the possibilities for our future.
So I'm gonna ask you just a couple questions. They're gonna be easy, I promise.
You're good, yeah, I'm not nervous, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Olivia, you got this!
All right, you already got friends.
I know, supporters, thank you.
First question is the easiest. Tell me your name, your major, and your year.
I'm Olivia Fannin. I am currently undecided. I believe, though, I want to double major. Was that the question?
What year are you?
Oh, I am 2023. So one thing I think that's really cool about college is that it's a new start. And I think this is the first time in a freshman's life that they are actually able to make their own decisions. Like, what do I want my life to look like?
I've been trying to keep myself busy, and I accepted a bid to Beta Theta Pi. So I'm actually going to a meeting at 9:30 tonight. We're learning about how to properly use like silverware and stuff, something I don't know anything about. Yes, etiquette. I don't know why they wanted me in this, but they chose me, so I accepted.
What's the most difficult thing you've had to do so far?
Difficult, definitely move away from my family. My siblings and I are like really close. We went to high school together, but hopefully they come here next year. I'm the oldest, but I have two other cousins here. One's a senior and one's a freshman with me. The big change from like seeing my siblings every day at school to like a whole new family here. I'm just like really glad it's been like very welcoming here. I love how like everywhere I go there's just like a familiar face, and then if there isn't one, then everyone's just so willing to get to know each other, like just make this whole place like a big family.
Go ahead and get comfy.
Okay, I'm gonna lay back so it's not like really loud when I move.
How you been? Still staying in touch with your family, missing them a little bit?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I come home every Sunday and go to Mass with them. So it's been really great seeing them. And I definitely do miss them, but it's not like the homesickness anymore. It's just I miss seeing them every day. But it's like I already have a new family here, and so it's just great. The family's growing.
Currently, I am part of the Crew, which is a student organization that plans weekday events. And so recently I planned a nostalgia event, and I like ordered a bunch of pairs of Heelys to give away, and we had like baby bottle pops and a bunch of stuff from like my generation, which was super fun and super cool to see people get excited about.
We actually have the Milton Cup going on, and I'm sad to say the Basement Boys are winning.
Our last event was, it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt, but instead of eggs, you find potatoes. And I did not find a single potato, but it's fine. There's one girl on the, I think the second floor, she found like 18 potatoes.
She went and bought a pack of potatoes from the store and said that she got them.
See, they taped faces to it, so they had to find like the faces. So yeah, they really thought it through. They thought through their potato game.
What have you been reflecting on the most? What do you feel like has changed the most for you during the course of the semester?
I think independence. Back at home, I always had my mom cooking dinner for me. Like every day we would eat dinner at 6:30. It was just so like precise. Like I had a schedule going, and now I have to figure it out on my own. Be like time for laundry, time for homework. It's just a whole new perspective on controlling your life and time.
For fall break, I went to stay with one of my roommates, Kalunji, And I loved doing that with her. That was super fun. But I was gone for only 3 days, and I was like, I have to go back. Like, I miss school so much. I do not want this semester to end. I don't know what I'm gonna do for Christmas break, because if I couldn't be away for 3 days, I don't know how I'm gonna be gone for a month. Hey guys, it's Olivia, live from quarantine. I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, my hometown, and I have been here since spring break, since school got canceled.
The coronavirus toll is rising in this country.
Millions of Americans face being infected. 83 confirmed cases here in Texas have been reported. The second death coming
Making
on
the decision to send all our students and faculty and staff home really was heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. And I've been here 20 years. I can't remember a more difficult decision, a decision that kept me up at night. Because a big part of TCU is we're all here. It's a culture, it's a community. And then all of a sudden you say to your community, go home.
I was actually on campus when the email went out saying that we would be going online. But at that time, I thought I was coming back. So I have a lot of stuff that I still need to pick up. I have no idea how I'm gonna pick them up.
COVID-19 has impacted everyone in the world. Personally, it impacted my family and I pretty tremendously because we actually got the virus. The one who experienced the symptoms the worst was my dad. And it was actually a really scary time for my family because he was actually sent to the hospital because he had a fever for over a week.
I definitely miss TCU. It was really hard adjusting at first, like that first week from being back home and knowing I was gonna be here.
I'm not a fan, honestly. I'm a very people-oriented person. I love being around people, love socializing. My day pretty much revolves around just like talking to people. And so the social distancing is not my thing, but it kind of has to be my thing right now because I've been playing a part in flattening the curve.
For sure, I definitely miss the community. Community is everything at TCU. Just the spirit of everyone being so loving and kind together is something I'm definitely missing over these weeks and months. Okay, so I'll take you to my study room. This is where I basically spend a good portion of my day, as usual, studying. But this is the room I literally live in now. It is now my study room, library/classroom. And I spend a lot of my time in here.
Honestly, like it's kind of a mess. My sleep schedule is destroyed. I fall asleep at like 4 a.m. If I don't have a Zoom class in the morning, I wake up at like noon or like 1. But if I do have a Zoom class, I'd be up by 9. So it's just like all over the place. There's not really like a typical day.
One thing that like motivates me to continue with the quarantine and continue with the safety precautions because I know that as soon as I do that and I can encourage other people to do that, the sooner that everything gets to normal and everyone be back where they were and me to return to TCU with all my friends. So that's one thing that keeps me motivated.
I've been pulling pranks with my friends, like virtual pranks. We pranked our friend Tristan first. We all posted on our Instagram stories like birthday posts, like saying, "Oh, happy birthday, Tristan." And he actually received so much like feedback from just random people, like his friends that didn't really know when his birthday was. So it was really funny because he was like, "Guys, what are you doing? Stop." And we didn't stop.
I got these new Crocs. My sweet friend Amari got them for me for my birthday. My birthday was after spring break, so she mailed them to me with a sweet card, and all my friends did, which was so thoughtful and just goes to show how awesome and caring and loving and wonderful my friends are. All the more reasons to miss them.
I definitely think that this whole situation has given me time to really slow things down and appreciate everything I have in life, especially my family. I could not complain. I love this extra family time so much. I've definitely missed them this year, and so being home with them is really refreshing, and it's just so fun. And the food, for sure, has been incredible. The food has been incredible every day.
I found a lot of comfort through my friends, even though we are spread across the nation. Like, we're all battling this together, and so we can all like complain about it together and just experience it together. It's comforting in a way because I know I'm not alone in this.
TCU has been wonderful about this whole situation. I have friends at schools and they're not nearly as like kind or care so much to keep the community alive. I've always been proud to go to TCU, but I have new sense of pride and honor to be a Horned Frog.
I'm mind blown that I am no longer a freshman soon. I'm gonna be a sophomore by the end of next week. So that's really crazy how fast this year came about and turned out. And I'm so excited to come back next semester, hopefully, to see everyone again and go Frogs. Happy summer, everyone.
When we came back to campus, that really was, in the 20 years I've been here, one of my favorite events. In that, people were so hungry to see each other again. Even when you would walk across campus, the amount of conversations people had, it was like the first day of freshman year again for everybody.
I love being back on campus so much. It's been incredible. TCU really became a home, and I guess like that separation really made me realize how much like TCU is a home to me. Like I love it so much.
I learned a lot because my greatest fear is just being alone. Don't like it. I'm very extroverted, and in isolation, I'm forced to be alone. And so I was able to overcome that fear, understand how to be alone and do things on my own and be independent while still understanding I do have a firm foundation of my friends and family to fall back onto.
It was funny because I was like supposed to graduate early and my advisor let me know and I was like, no, no. And I'm like, I want to graduate in the 2 years. And he was like, well, do you mind me asking why? And I'm like, I'm just like not prepared to leave this early yet. In this conversation, like there's a sentiment of like disappointment maybe, or dissatisfaction for the way things are. And despite how crazy this has been, I have been super happy with these past 2 years. I think a lot of growth has come from it and a lot of like learning. This is how it was supposed to roll, and like I'm rolling with it, and like at the end of the day, like I feel grateful and like where I am now and like where I had to go through to get here.
Yes, COVID is a real concern, but I feel like there's ways we can get creative that are following CDC guidelines that cultivate community still. Because that's the one weak link that we have during this pandemic, is just how do we maintain our relationships and how do we maintain a good community. And I feel like TCU is doing a good job about that. Everyone was figuring out as we were going, and so we didn't know a whole lot about because we have no one in our lifetime has ever experienced a pandemic like this. And so it's a learning experience for everyone. And so I'd rather learn it all together than learn it all separately.
Yes, okay, so I saw you when he was here too. No way. Yeah, him and Lee were walking into Wayne Scott and I ran into them.
That's so sweet. Yeah. Did he say hi?
Yeah. Dig in, baby. She's a year below me, but we've known each other ever since before she even came to TCU.
She was the first person I met at TCU. Yeah. I stayed with her and I was like, oh shoot, this is the place for me.
Oh. The rest is history. Her family's like become my Fort Worth family in a way.
No, they love Lloyd.
They like, Tanan sent me a Christmas card this year. And she drew me in all of the pictures, like all of her family pictures with little stickers.
Yeah, it's a joke. Once Lauren introduced herself in bio club as my cousin, and a girl actually believed her. I was like, no way, what a small world.
Someone's like, I have over 100 cousins as one of her fun facts or something.
Yeah.
And then I went on, I'm like, my fun fact is I would have done. And So we just kind of joke about that all the time now. This is definitely the nerd house. We're all like STEM majors, but we also call ourselves the convent because we're all Catholic. And one of us was actually thinking about becoming a nun, so I was like, that's kind of funny. Super fun. We pray together, and then we go to adoration. Super sweet. This semester is known as like the hardest semester for pre-meds because there's like the hard classes and MCAT studying. MCAT studying probably takes more time than school itself right now because I'm in like 3-hour classes 3 times a week, and then they have homework on top of that. And then they want us doing like a 7-hour practice test every other week, and I was like, you're kidding me.
I was one of the chairmen for the recruitment team of Beta, and so I had to go to like all the events, and we went to Austin one weekend for like a recruitment event down there on the lake. Complete chaos for a couple days, and then the workload hit, and now I'm drowning.
Am I doing enough? You know, am I getting enough out of my college experience? Last year as a sophomore, I just felt like I was so lame. You know, I went to bed at 7. What happened to freshman year, Olivia, where it'd be like 9 o'clock at night and you're like, where am I? What am I doing? You know, because it's like completely absurd. So that's kind of been like revived in me, doing random things with random people.
Things I'm looking forward to this semester is like spontaneous stuff. I just feel like this is such a special like TCU moment. During the summer, one of my friends, Clara Connor, reached out to me and was like, hey, how would you like to go to a Pitbull concert? And I was like, okay, yes. And then I joined the group chat, and there was already like over 100 people in the group chat. We were like, bald caps are mandatory.
And it was absolutely insane. I wore like just a plain white button-up, black pants, and a bald cap. So very Miss Worldwide. And I felt like a true celebrity because people were like, oh my God, it's Pitbull. And they like wanted to like take pictures with me. They wanted like my autograph. And that was honestly like a highlight of my entire college career.
I've been meeting a lot of new people, which is not something I think I expected just because being a junior, you already have sort of like your friends and you kind of know a lot of people. But I think coming out of the COVID year where no one was meeting new people, everyone's just like, where's everybody? So I'm excited to, 1, see who else I meet, and 2, sort of see who I get close with. And that's such a feature of college, is not knowing what's around the corner and how suddenly things can change. There's a neighborhood that I like to walk in. And so I figured I could show you guys that. If I cry also, it's okay. Last semester at the end of October, my dad suddenly died. Losing my dad is like my worst fear come true. My dad and I were really, really close. I'm not like close with anybody else in my family, really. And I'm like kind of the black sheep in my family. Most of my family didn't really get it, and a lot of times wanted me to change and be different, follow some standard or rule or social norm. But my dad, he normally always got it. He was always kind of different. But even if he didn't, he just supported me and just loved me because of it. And that's really powerful, I think, because there is like something to say about the academics of sort of progressive ideas, I suppose, but for someone to love and accept you just because they love and accept you, that says a lot. That says a lot. Currently, I am Director of Administration. One thing that I've really encouraged from our team is intentionality. Part of our mission is, not part, like our whole mission, is make students feel seen and heard. And how we gauge our success for events is if one student comes away and they feel that their day was made better, if they felt heard and seen, that's a successful event. We don't need any more. And I think that also applies to how our members feel, and so intentionality with our members. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I just had my one.
I've kind of pushed what I've called intentional time, and that's just taking the leaders of the organization, taking time out of their day to invest personally in members instead of just like business. When people ask me like, oh, like what do you want to do when you graduate? It's so much of this job and the fact that it's constantly changing. Like what my role is depends on what the members of my organization need. And that's ever changing and ever flowing, and that's so fun and that's so cool. And I feel like it just keeps me on my toes and challenges me to be better and be a better leader. And by leader, I mean caring for people, because that's kind of what it means to lead for me, so.
Very fun.
I can grab the door.
Is it Meredith?
Yeah.
It might be Meredith. Do you have a panic?
Miranda.
Meredith?
She's hot.
Oh no.
Hey,
Just kidding.
So, Kelsey had
Fun.
rented out an Airbnb. It was so cute. It was so nice.
Perfect location.
The day before?
No, it was less than 24 hours before. We were supposed to go.
Yes.
They canceled on me.
And the only place we could find is we're all like rush hunting for housing. So I'm making waffles because there was the like one edible breakfast food they had was Texas shaped waffles. But yeah, so I'm making waffles in honor of the Texas shaped waffles at La Quinta. And then everyone else is making something that is edible.
So did y'all know each other before this trip?
Yeah. Olivia, a little bit. I just thought she was like insane.
So I've only like really known Tanan through mutual friends. And so we have never like had a real conversation, maybe.
No, I feel like we had conversations, but nothing where like we would spent the whole weekend together or something like that. And then I actually got to know her, and I'm like,
She's
Olivia's
insane.
fun. But there's like depth to character too. It's great.
That's awesome.
There's
Porter, we're making you waffles for La Quinta.
Oh, fantastic.
There's a process to this.
As long as it's better than like the churro experiment, I think
Oh, it's ready. A little burn.
Hey, it looks pretty
But
good.
it's done.
don't care if like the entire year is gone.
New ones.
If you fold it up, then it's like little packages of tinfoil.
Okay, I'll put that in first. When do you go home? Thank you.
Well, technically go home Saturday morning, but I'll be back for your grad party Saturday night.
Oh.
Because it's just 15 minutes away, and I was like, why not?
Yeah. Good, good.
Are you ready for graduation?
I'm doing really good. I feel like this year I'm constantly running around, like from point A to point B, super duper busy, but it's all been so great because definitely making time for the people I love so much here because it's crazy that it's the last year.
Do you think about your future that much?
I think about it a little bit. So I interned at DaVita this past summer in Denver, Colorado, and at the end of the internship, I was given a job offer to come back full-time. It is kind of hard to focus on class when you know you have a job locked down, but I try not to like live for the future because I have so many incredible months ahead of me here at TCU, and I want to make the most of it, and so I don't want to be distracted by the future.
I am looking forward to having a semester where I'm not super busy. Like, what do I want to do when there's no one telling me what to do?
The other day I was in the kitchen and my sister turns over because I was just studying and she likes to pester me. She goes, I feel like you're gonna cry at graduation. And I said, you're right. I feel like I could cry right now just thinking about it. And then I started tearing up and like one sad tear rolled down. Yeah, but it's just been so good, and it's just gonna still enjoy it while it lasts. I feel like coming into TCU, I was actually scared to be myself because I was like, oh, the demographics are so different from who I am. I felt like I was just constantly like so overwhelmed with constantly trying to impress other people and being like, oh, I don't want to be like the weird girl. So I was just so quiet. I was like, better be quiet than be myself, which is not the way to do it. And so I feel like over the years, I've grown into being more confident in myself, my faith, what I stand for, and for the people I stand for, which has made me so much happier.
It's funny because sometimes I think about that in actually the context of these interviews. I remember like very vividly freshman year doing the interviews and I'm just like, bah! Like I'm just like all over the place, like out of pocket. You never know what I'm gonna say. Is this the mic? Yep. Yes. Should I sing? This guy. Yes. Now talking, I'm like, I think much more collected and refined, but like not in bad ways, right? Like I'm still just as like silly and spontaneous and quirky, but it's just more in like a refined way.
When I first got here, my focus on my future was so narrow. And so that's one of the things that TCU has done the most for me is open my eyes up to like what I'm actually capable of. And it's just set me up so well for my future. Like that is the reason why I have the opportunity to go to Denver. If I went to a different school, I don't even think that would be in my mind like as a possibility. It broadened my horizons.
That's what makes TCU so special. I noticed that everyone truly grows into their full self here, and they continue to grow after that too, but because they truly appreciate who they are and who the other people are around them, it allows them to enjoy all the moments, the big moments, and all the moments in between.
This is one, I'm like really happy with how it turned out. That's okay. As I'm in my senior year, my last semester, and it is so fun. At the same time, I am grieving my dad, and grief is really hard. At the beginning of this semester, I had sort of like walked through the Commons, having like a little nostalgic moment, and I see all these freshmen around me, and they're like so full of life and excited, and you just see the like the newness in their eyes, and like what will these next 4 years bring? And I remember almost crying because almost like envy for my freshman self and how like privileged I felt. Like I had a dad then. That's crazy, and I could have just called him anytime. And also kind of feeling, I think, grief for students who would go through a story like mine, because I'm not the only one. I've done school for 21 years. All of a sudden, one day, I'm not gonna have school anymore. That's kind of weird. I think it'll be sad to leave something that is so structured in the learning process, but also it is a reminder that like learning does not stop just because you graduate.
I think the hardest thing about leaving here is like the safety of it. I kind of see TCU as like a cocoon. Like it's taught me so much. Just the safety of having like a very solid group of friends already. Like leaving the cocoon will kind of be scary, and it'll be sad for sure because living with my sister and now seeing my brother all the time on campus, he's like our 5th roommate basically, has been so awesome. And just leaving all of this, something I know that's so good and so great, and like kind of having to leave it because it like lets me like take another step further in life.
It'll be bittersweet because I love the people here. I've had so many incredible experiences here. This is a second home to me. And so leaving that will be really hard. And so it's this like balance of, yes, I know it'll be such a hard thing for me to do, but it'll be such a good thing for me to do because I know I'll grow so much from it. And there's like such a bright future ahead in Denver and so many great opportunities for me out there. And so I'd be foolish not to take hold of it. So it's gonna be hard to say goodbye, but I'm excited for what's to come.
I think TCU's grown a lot since it first started. In a way that TCU grows its students and the way that I've seen it grow me. We also grow TCU. You know, we have administration and faculty members who I think are a bit more like conscious of like decisions and how those decisions affect people, and members of TCU who are outspoken and want to like advocate for minorities on campus. We're just maturing altogether. That feels really true thinking about the 150th year of TCU, because as I've matured and grown and become refined and like have learned, so has TCU with me. So I just think that's cool that we're a part of like such a significant year and a marker of that.
I hope that what we taught you at Texas Christian University is not just a bunch of facts and figures and things you memorize, but I think more, I hope what we taught you is to love learning and to be inquisitive and ask the questions other people are afraid to ask. That's the mark of a truly educated person. I also want to say to you, good luck, God bless you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your life, and I know you will, and I know you'll be successful. But most of all, I hope that you'll always want to stay connected with Texas Christian University.
Olivia Grace Fannin, cum laude. John Tyler Freeney, magna cum laude, University Honors. Tien Nguyen, summa cum laude, University Honors, Departmental Honors, Biology.